I love it when I have good news to deliver for you guys. So we've discussed how many Midwestern Democrats have been super based and they've delivered on many of their promises. Tim Walz comes to mind, for example. And now we have, I mean, you got to keep it real. A lot of these good ideas are spreading far and wide to Democrats all across the country, mostly at the state level. I should be clear about that because, national Democrats seem to underperform quite a bit, whereas a lot of these state level Democrats are, it's like they woke up from a deep sleep and they're like, oh, wait, shouldn't I actually govern in a way that makes sense? And so here we go. Look at this. This is in Business Insider. Massachusetts passed a 4% millionaires tax last year. Now every public school student will have access to free lunch. We're going to get into the article in a second here, but also keep in mind, I am giving a lot of credit to like Midwestern Democrats who started this trend of doing bills like this, but in the case of Massachusetts, it may have actually been a direct ballot initiative, which is, we'll get into it in a second. Like I said, I don't remember all the specifics. They'll tell us in the article, but the most straightforward way to progressive change for the better in this country has been either base Democrats at the state level or direct ballot initiatives where the people get to vote on important issues. Because like 80% of the time, the people cut in the proper direction, whether it's raising the minimum wage or a situation like this, like a millionaire's tax. Here's what they say. Public school students in Massachusetts are set to get free lunch and breakfast thanks to a new 4% tax on people's earnings above $1 million. Massachusetts in 2022 voted for a constitutional amendment, there you go, direct ballot initiative, to tax high earners and went into effect at the beginning of 2023. State House News Service and Independent Newswire reported that $1 billion of the state's record $56.2 billion fiscal budget for 2024 will be funded by its new 4% tax. When you tax the wealthy, you can raise a decent amount of funds to do good things for the people with. Wow, shocking. It turns out redistribution of wealth can actually be very, very based. Governor Maura Healey signed the budget on Wednesday, making Massachusetts the 8th state to adopt a plan for free school lunch since the expiration of federal free school lunches that had emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic. We should point out that it was during the pandemic that, the neoliberal era started to get a little shaky, right? Because people were talking about, oh my God, we need to give people money. There was, it was Trump cut a $600 check and Biden cut a $1,400 check directly to people. And people got more comfortable with big government spending as a matter of last resort to try to save the economy and keep everybody okay. And one of the parts of that was like, yeah, free school lunches. But now you have the states learning from that and saying, hey, why shouldn't we have this all the time? Like, if we're going to have a government and we're going to have taxes, the question is, how much do you pay in taxes and what should it fund? And this is people going, well, let's put it towards something reasonable, like giving school kids meals. The outlet reported that a portion of the $1 billion expected to be gathered from the new income tax would be used to provide all public school students in Massachusetts with free breakfast and lunch if they want it. Universal, not means tested. That is the best way to do these things. Because now it's not a welfare program, now it's a universal program and everybody has access. WCVB reported that state lawmakers agreed to allocate $523 million of anticipated revenue from the new tax on education and set aside $477 million for transportation. In February, Joe Biden urged lawmakers to pass his billionaire's tax proposal, which would impose a minimum 20% tax on households with a net worth of more than $100 million. That is based. Unlike Massachusetts' new tax, which is on income, the proposed billionaire's tax is aimed at wealth. In other words, there's a lot of very clever, creative, interesting ways to do redistribution of wealth. You could have debates and disagreements as to which ways make more sense and which ways make less sense and which ideas have unintended consequences that might, impact other things. But look, the general takeaway here, and this is part and parcel and core to somebody who's on the left, who's progressive, anywhere from center left to far left. One of the things that unites all of us is that as a general rule, we think redistribution of wealth from the top to the middle and the bottom is generally a good thing, is a positive thing for society, and, it pays dividends in the long run. It helps the society out. Jared Bernstein, a member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, told CNBC the proposal would target big corporations of the wealthiest Americans while protecting people who made less than $400,000 a year from tax increases. Biden also signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law February, which included a 15% minimum tax on corporations earning more than $1 billion. Every time I go through my list of here's the decent things Biden did, this is on that list. Because remember, under Republicans, under Trump, the idea was, hey, corporations, find all these loopholes that you want. Pay, tax experts and attorneys and accountants to make it so you can use legal loopholes to hide all your money and pay nothing in taxes, or oftentimes get a net subsidy, a negative tax rate where taxpayers pay you. Well, that's abysmal. That's a travesty. That's a tragedy. That shouldn't be a thing. Of course, the corporation should be paying taxes. And so Biden, as part of the IRA, did a 15% minimum tax. So they can't pay less than that. It's a minimum tax. They have to pay at least 15 on corporations earning $1 billion or more. That's a great policy. It's a phenomenal policy. And you never get it under a Republican. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Okay. So I give you that to show you guys, look, these good ideas are spreading. This 4% tax on millionaires to give kids free school lunch and breakfast. This idea is spreading. They said in the article the number of states that have already implemented this. But I got a new one for you. So More Perfect Union tweeted this out. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, not to be confused with Ben Shapiro. Josh Shapiro is way more based than Ben Shapiro, has signed a bill that includes funding for breakfast at all Pennsylvania public schools. 1.7 million kids in Pennsylvania will now be guaranteed breakfast at school. I mean, you'll love to see it.
You know how in school we learn about how a bill becomes a law, right? How people in the House and Senate vote for it, and then the governor gets to sign it? So that's kind of what we're doing here today. They just put the bill on a breakfast tray, which is kind of cool, right? And so we got all these people who are working hard for you every day, who care a lot about you. And when I sign this with this pen, it's going to mean that your school, your teachers, your people working in the cafeteria can give you breakfast in the morning. Does that sound great?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, if you keep telling me to wait, I can't sign it. We can't get breakfast. Can I do that real quick?
Yes.
Okay. You ready, Morgan? All right, here we go. So this is House Bill 611, right? See that? And these are all the words that basically say you get free breakfast. Sound good? All right. I'll take this fancy pen. Here we go. Ready, guys?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. There we go.
Good
now
job.
it's law. And here's the thing. Morgan, I'm going to give you this pen. Any piece of paper you sign now becomes law, okay?
Guys, let's not get it twisted. This is a stone cold fact. In many, many Democratic states now, they're signing bills to do free school breakfast, free school lunch for kids, or both. And in many Republican states now, they're signing bills to bring back child labor. We've seen the juxtaposition. We've seen all the smiling, giggling, happy kids with Tim Walz during the bill signing. Oh my God, we have free lunch. This is glorious. And you've seen Sarah Huckabee Sanders with the kids around her, stone-faced like, Why? Because she's not signing bills that are advantageous and positive for kids. In the Democratic states, they are. So look, I give you this news because, first of all, these are facts, right? These are good things. But also, this is why people got to wake up out of their doomer spiral, their nihilism spiral. A better world is possible. And in fact, we're seeing movements in that direction right now, as we speak. Democrats and Republicans are not the same. They're not at the elected level. It's just not true. Maybe there was a time where that was closer to true in the heart of the neoliberal era. But even in the heart of the neoliberal era, there were things that were very important, which did still make Democrats a lesser evil. This right here, let's keep it real. We're not even talking about a lesser evil. We're talking about a good thing. Flat out good. Flat out positive. Take the W when you get it. Don't be like these idiot Republicans where they're like, Hunter Biden should get a special counsel investigating him and taking him down. And then when they get that, they're like, this is part of the cover-up. No, take yes for an answer. So now I hope these bills travel far and wide and every state in the country implements this. But keep it real. In order to do it, you got to have Democrats elected in these states. Because the Republicans ain't going to do this. They're too busy trying to, make 14-year-olds go back to the coal mines. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.